All right, let me talk about something here. I'm going to have to explain to everyone what I mean by this, that love does not always work, and sometimes it's not needed in situations. And I want to describe what I mean. I know from my own circumstances, I know from my own family, my own life story, I know that love enables people. Love keeps things hidden that need to be exposed sometimes. And I'm talking about this word love, metaphorical love. Like you love your family because you care for them, because you're attached to them. It's your family. But let me tell you something. This love thing causes more problems sometimes than when you're just being real with what is really going on in a situation. Now, I don't want to sit here and explain my situation, why it doesn't work, but I know that when you are constantly like this lovey-dovey love thing, you don't get to the point. You don't get to the root of when you have to get aggressive, or you have to speak up, or you have to tell it how it really is. You see, this love thing. Oh, I love him too much. I can't tell him how I really feel. I'm gonna hurt his feelings. You know, oh, I love my child too much to tell them how I really feel. I have to lie to them. I can't tell them the truth. See, all you're doing is you're making situations worse with this love thing sometimes. I'm not saying that nurturing is not needed. I am not saying that there is a time to care and there is a time to not give a fuck. There is a time to say, okay, I have to care for this thing because it is needed at this time. And then there's a time where you have to say, look, you're making the situation worse. You're in denial here. And this is what it does. Love is denial a lot of the times. Love is, it holds people back from saying and doing what they really need to say and do sometimes. And I know it because it happens with me. It happens with my own family members. It happens in everyday life. I see it happening. And it's, listen, it's just like the book of Ecclesiastes, where it says there's a time for everything. There's a time for love. There's a time for hate. There's a time for joy. There's a time for pain. There's a time to work, and there's a time to not work. But most people were such in denial. We're such in this delusional place that, you know, when we have kids, that, oh, we're going to have kids and they're going to have a life and they're going to grow up to be something. But do you think about when they get older? Do you think about when you need to put them in a home? Do you think about when they get cancer? Do you think about, oh, well, something's going to happen to where you're going to have to take them to the doctors. You're going to have to care for them. You're going to have to give them rides. You're going to have to go get their prescriptions. And this is kind of a similar situation that I'm in. And my mom is helping my grandmother and grandfather out, and it's putting stress on her. And I know the whole thing. I know the whole 9 yards of it. You feel guilty, like you have to help people that have helped you when you were younger. But to me, this is not how it should be. When you get at a certain age and you're immobilized or you can't do something, There should be a place where you go, a caretaker, a home that you go into to help you do things. And there's something there that supplies your needs and helps you. It shouldn't be the ones that are younger helping older people in your families. Now, I know some families, they like to do this. They enjoy doing this. They want to do this. My family is a family that nobody wants to do these things. Nobody wants to drive my grandparents to their appointments. Nobody wants to do any of that. Nobody wants to go fill their prescriptions. Nobody wants to be a caretaker, basically. And everybody is just kind of running from the issue. And then we all use this, oh, well, I love them so much that I can't let them do this or that. Hey, look, I'm sorry to say, but life is brutal. Life does not care that you get older. Life does not care that you're going to die one day. Life does not care that you may develop cancer. Life does not care that you have to go into an old folks home. Life does not care that you need prescriptions and you need rides to places. Life doesn't care. And what are you supposed to do when the person just doesn't want to do this? What the hell are you supposed to do? And listen, I don't want to hear anything anybody has to say about anybody. I'm talking about anybody, any human, any doctor, any person that says, oh, well, they changed your diapers and took care of you. Now it's time for you to do the same. That's how life is. No. It's not supposed to be this way. And if it is supposed to be this way, then I told my mom on the phone, I said, I would just have rather not even come here. I mean, is this what life is? Is this what life is about? Is living some years and being a teenager and having a fun time, or do whatever you do when you're a teenager, and then you go to school and you get a job, or you go to you do something, whatever you do, whatever it is that you do. There's a million things, but what I'm saying is, just to get older and to have these problems come that nobody wants to do. Nobody wants to take anybody anywhere. Nobody wants to get involved. It's just dysfunction. It's just enabling. It's just this thing where, nobody wants to do it, but everybody's in denial, like, oh, well, I'm too far away, or, oh, I really can't do this because I don't feel good, or there's no excuse. It's just you don't want to do it. And for me, yes, I feel bad. I feel guilty. I feel like I'm entitled to do these things. And this feeling, it fucking sucks because I don't want to do it. I don't know. Look, I don't know why I'm like this. I really don't. I don't know why I'm like this with my family and other people, but I don't want to be a caretaker. I don't want to take care of people. I just don't want to do it. And it's not something that I have any desire to do. And there's already days where I can hardly manage my own life. There's some days I don't even want to get up. There's some days where I don't even want to go to the store to get food, or like my life becomes unmanageable. So how am I gonna, it's just like a double whammy, a double triple stacker of problems that I don't want to deal with. And then people go, oh, well, I know, and I'm sorry it's like that, but you got to do it and find a way to cope or to handle it or to get through it. Maybe you can do this or do that. No, fuck all that. I don't want to hear any of that shit. It just comes down to, doing things that you don't want to freaking do. And I used to say, well, you got to do things in this life that you don't want to do. But do you really? Do you really have to do things that you don't want to do? No, you don't have to do them. You're forcing yourself to do them because you feel obligated. You feel like you're somehow a piece of shit if you don't do something for someone's like well-being or somebody's health or someone that's older. You can't stop this anyway. People are going to get old and people are going to die. It's a natural thing in life. It's just that we're so scared of this because we're never taught about it. We never talk about death and dying. We don't discuss any of this stuff. We don't discuss morbid things. We don't talk about the darkness. We don't talk about cruelty. We don't talk about, listen, this life is harsh. It's brutal. We don't talk about this shit. And then we wonder why when it comes, nobody knows what to do. Everybody is just in denial or they're delusional and they're thinking all these things like, oh, well, the doctors will save me and there's a cure. It's like, listen, I'm not the one that did this. I did not make this world. I did not make it how it is. I did not make things to die. I didn't do this. I just came of this world. And I'm of this world. And I'm going to return to this world when I die. I'm just the thing that is aware of this thing. That's it. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. And I know this is off topic, but there is just so many things that we are in denial of. There's so many things that we can just not tell ourselves. This is how it is, Jack. This is how it is, Jill. You can run up the hill as many times as you want, but sooner or later, you're going to fall down the hill. Sooner or later, you're not going to be able to push the rock up the hill. I'm sorry to tell you, I didn't make it this way. I didn't do this. It's just how it is. And then how do you tell people this? How do you tell people this and us not be in denial? How do you tell other people this without them giving you some bullshit answer, a denial answer, an answer of denial, or an answer that they're filling your head with more bullshit. They're just covering up the symptom or the hole or the scratch or the cut with a Band-Aid, and they're just hoping it's going to heal itself. It doesn't happen like that. I'm sorry to say, but it doesn't happen like that. And people get cancer, people die horribly, people get hit with a car. It's just so many things that are messed up that happen, and we don't ever talk about these kinds of things. We don't ever talk about the morbid side of life. We don't ever talk about death. We don't ever talk about when we get older and we get wrinkly and we get weak and where we lose our minds and we lose our thinking and we can't do the things we used to do. And then we wonder when it comes, we're so confused. Like, oh, well, that was never supposed to happen. I already know all this shit is coming. I already came to accept the fact that I will suffer. I've already accepted that I'm going to get old. I already accepted that I'm not going to be here a long time. I've already accepted that my fate is already sealed here. I'm already dead. I'm already a dead man walking. I'm alive, but I'm dead. I'm living, but I'm dying every single second. You're not doing either. You're not living and you're not dying. You're doing both. You're living and you're dying every second. But nobody wants to talk about the other side. Nobody wants to discuss all those things. No, we'll just wait to talk about all those things. We'll just put those things to the side. No, we don't want to let little Tommy know about that stuff Don't you tell little Cindy about those kinds of things. I don't want her knowing that. Don't tell them the truth. See, this is the shit that pisses me off. Then, when we get older and we get grown up and we know what's going on, then everybody is scared. Everybody's worthless. Everybody doesn't know what to do, doesn't know what to say, because they never handled it. They never did anything about it. And look, this pains me to the core that I have to talk about this. It's not something that I even want to talk about. I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to think about it. You know, I'm just like any other human. I want to live my life. I want to experience nice and beautiful things, all the fuzzy things, all the feel-good things, and I just want everything to go my way. Sorry, pop the bubble. That's not how life is. It just doesn't work like that. And I know it sucks. It sucks. But it's the way that it is. And, you know, it's almost like, how can you accept the unacceptable? How can you accept the inevitable? How can anyone swallow the pill of reality? How? Anyone tell me, how can you swallow the pill of harsh reality? How can anybody accept this or take it head on at an early age? Because to me, everybody's running from it. Everybody's just holding back. Everybody's just putting it on hold. Oh no, we'll put it on hold for later. That's not now. But you have to understand, now will eventually happen. So, what can you do? What can I say? What can I do? Nothing. Nothing. It's going to happen. It's just, can I accept that? Can you accept that? Can they accept that? Can the world accept that? Can these people, can anybody accept that? Can any elemental being accept that their elements will one day, you know, be scattered somewhere, and they won't be a person that is aware? They won't be a conscious or a thinking being. And, you know, I'm to the point where I almost can't even listen to hardly anybody speak anymore, because I realize that they are such in denial of things. They overly do everything that they do to prevent themselves from getting to the nasty truth. They overly do everything to escape from their own mortality, you know, reality. They do all these overly things. They over-sexualize everything. They overdo everything in music and entertainment. They overly just do everything. Everything is overdone. And you know what that is? That is us being in denial. That is us covering up the wound that a Band-Aid will never stick to. It's just impossible. It can't happen. And listen, when you break that bubble, it's going to hurt. It's not going to be fun and comfortable and lovely and cuddly and soft and lovely and all these other whatever words you put to it. It's not going to be that way, my friends. People of the earth, it's not going to be like that. Do you think that I want to do this shit? Do you think that I want to face the fact that I am a mortal and I will expire? Do you think I want to face the fact that there will be no more Nate? very soon? Do you think I want to face the fact that one day my parents will get old, and what am I going to do? If I don't want to take care of anybody, then what am I going to do? I'm going to feel bad because I say, look, you have to go into a home or do something. I don't want to do that. And then I'll feel guilty, and it'll just be more of this stuff. And I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to any of this shit. I'm just not. And what do you do? What do I do? What am I supposed to do? And it's like there is no, I'm sorry, but for some things, there is just no solution. And swallowing that pill, accepting the unacceptable, accepting something that you have no control over, accepting the fact that you and I are completely powerless over life and death, over living and getting old and having all these things happen. Nobody can swallow that pill. There are maybe a few people in this life that have actually accepted their fate and have actually accepted that, okay, I'm gonna die, and let me die with a smile on my face. But until that day, let me enjoy life. Let me do something. Let me do something or nothing. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. And you don't have to do something. I'm just saying, while you're here, find something to help you along the way. Or don't do anything to get yourself into trouble or to add on to the fire of nonsense and bullshit, because there's too many people that are already doing that. There's already too many people that are adding on to the nonsensical, irrelevant bullshit in life. We don't need any more of them people. We need people that are the opposite of that. So that's something that I had to get off my chest, and it's still gonna bother me, but I mean, I don't know what else to do. There is nothing else I can do. I just have to accept the fact that there's nothing else that I can do about this situation. And the reason that I don't want to hear anybody else, like their answer or a suggestion or something, because it's going to happen to every single person. It's going to happen to every single one of us. You think you can run from it? You think there's somewhere to go but here? It's like the saying I say, where can a tree go? You know, where can a tree possibly go? It's going to be here for some time, and then it's going to wither, and it's going to die eventually. It can't stay here forever, and that's every single one of us. And I'm just at this bridge in my life at 36 years old where I'm not fooling myself any longer. I want to accept. I want to be able to swallow this harsh pill of reality and accept it. And when I'm about to go, have a smile on my face and say, yes, I have lived. I have understood. I have accepted all the knowledge that was here to get, because I don't have any more questions here. Now, I don't know every single question to scientific answers and, you know, what every single element does and all that kind of stuff like that. I don't have the answers to that. But I know I don't have any more questions here. I'm out of questions. I know how all this is. Everything has taken on a repeat for me. I have already seen, I've already witnessed, I've already been through, I've already encountered. I forced myself to do things that I didn't want to do. I have been through my own type of hell here many times with drugs, getting off of drugs, having family issues, having my own problems in life. I already know all of these things, so I can't be shocked. How can we be shocked when somebody dies? How can we be that upset or like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened? Well, what do you mean you can't believe this has happened? It's gonna happen to everybody. Like, how are we surprised at death? How are we surprised when things happen to people? This is life, my friends. And this is what I mean, how so many of us are in denial of our own mortality and our own existence. We're in denial of these things. And this is why sometimes I get so angry at certain things, is because all that we're really doing most of the time is we are enabling each other with this love thing, with this fake love, this fake positivity, this fake everything will be all right, this fake like overly done music where they're talking as if none of these things are going to happen. Like there's this delusion in people's heads that nothing bad is going to come their way. You know, they're never going to get a scratch on their knee. They're never going to get a tumor in their brain. They're never going to have swollen tonsils. They're never going to, you know, have their dog run out in the street and see it get hit. I mean, these are things that will happen, that can happen. It is life. As long as you are bringing sentient beings, as long as you are bringing people into this world, bad shit, not even bad, pain and suffering is going to happen. What don't we get about this? You know, and I really do not want to say this because a lot of people will take this wrong, but really, I think our time is up. Why are we going to keep all this going? You know, what for what? What are we accomplishing? What are we getting here? What is there to prove? I mean, what are you going to do different than what every other person has already done for centuries and centuries? I think it's time for this generation to live and to die off. That's just how I see it. Listen, I'm not this guy that I hate everyone and I want to see people just fall off and all that. Y'all already know I'm not like that. But what I mean is, we're denying the inevitable. We're denying the very fact that things will go wrong. We're denying the very pill that one day we're going to have to swallow. And it's going to come. And I want to do that now. I want to force myself to do what I do not want to do. Now, I know this sounds very strange, but listen, I'm ready to die. I'm ready to die. And I'm ready to live, though, at the same time while I'm here. I'm ready to live and I'm ready to die. And I've accepted the fact that that's going to happen. Even though I say I'm scared of death, I'm not scared to die. Because I won't even know I'm dead. When I die, I won't even know I'm dead. I'll be dead. And see, this is the thing, you know, when you start talking about your mortality and you start talking about things that people don't want to hear, you're going to be shunned. You're going to be looked at as a morbid person, a dark person, a bad person, a negative person, a person that's trying to bring everybody down. And you're just, oh, well, you lost. You don't want to live, so don't put your stuff on me. No, it don't have anything to do with that. I'm attempting to get you out of your denial so that you can actually see life for what it really is, so that you don't have to go through this later in life, that you can see it now, so that you can live the rest of your life knowing that it's going to happen, knowing that eventually you will perish just like every other human, every other animal, every other fish in the sea. Nothing here can be saved. So saving the planet is a pipe dream. Us going off into space and making another world on Mars, why? Why are we going to do that? Create another species so that they have to eat another animal, that other things have to suffer, live and suffer and die. Live, suffer, die. Live, suffer, die. No. I hope that all missions to Mars fail. I hope they fall flat on their face. I hope every single mission, not that I want the people to perish or die or have something horrible happen to them. I hope that they never go to Mars and never start something else. There's already enough problems here. It's like, and even going off into space is a pipe dream. Man can't go off of this planet. Are you kidding me? Are you that delusional? You can't go off this planet. Everything that you need is here. Everything. You cannot take enough water with you. You cannot take enough oxygen, enough food. It's impossible. It's impossible. We are so delusional. The scientists, the NASA people, they're all delusional. Everybody is delusional, bro. It's just, there's people that have way more delusions than other people. I don't have a shit ton of delusions anymore. I have very little because I understand what they are. Oh, we're going to go to Mars and we're going to create an ecosystem and we're going to bring life to Mars. We're going to do it. We're going to bring life to Mars and we're going to achieve our mission. Oh yeah, okay, well go achieve your mission. Bring life to Mars so that all these little life forms can kill and hunt and torture and rip each other apart so that they can live. Just so they can live in the name of living, in the name of cruel nature. Listen, I am not saying, this is where I'm going to end this with, I am not saying that nature is not beautiful on the outside. I am not saying that women are not beautiful on the outside. I am not saying that art and music is not beautiful. But on the inside, but on the other side of that, there is something dark. There is something ugly. There is something cruel. There is something unjust. There is something violent. There is something ripping something else apart. There is something that is cruelly putting another thing through pain and suffering and misery. But no, it's not happening to you. It's not happening to you, so you don't have to worry about it. No, well, it's not happening to me. What do I care? Well, that guy that got shot on the news, well, that's not me. What do I care? Oh, well, look at that guy there on the ground. He's probably starving for food. Look at that bum. What do I care? Oh, look, oh, yeah, they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. What do I care? That's Japanese people. Oh, the war is over there in Russia, and Putin is doing that, and that's the people getting killed. What do I care? Do you see how insane this is? Do you see how crazy this is? And it's like you just don't know until it comes to you. And it will come to you one time. And listen, this tears me apart. This just rips my chest out. I can't even explain to you how I feel that I have absolutely no control over the inevitable, over things that will happen, over what will happen to people, what will happen to animals, what the future generations will bring. in the name of this striving, in the name of this getting ahead, in the name of something great, in the name of all this. Don't you see that the great is not really great? Striving is something that you shouldn't even strive for. Striving alone is bad. It's the saying, don't even start. Don't even start anything, because most of what people are starting, most of what us are starting as a mankind as a whole, is nothing but trouble, is nothing but problems, is nothing but more pain and suffering. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. Now, how many of you can swallow that pill and say, I'm swallowing it and I'm accepting it, and that's what it is? So, okay, instead of me seeing all these things that stupid, unintelligent human beings are doing, how can I do the opposite of that, but at the same time not fall into the same hypocrisy as everybody else? Because it's so easy. It's so easy to be a hypocrite. It's so easy to contradict yourself here. It's so easy to say, oh, well, I love my cat and you killed my cat, but you eat chicken and beef. It's so easy to say, oh, look at that little shithead over there. I just want to smack that little kid. I can't stand him. Oh, here comes my little Tommy. Hi, Tommy. Oh, my baby, I love you so much. I'd do anything for you. But yet you want to smack the next kid and you want to, do whatever to them. Don't you understand how hypocritical we are and how we keep this thing going in the name of what? In the name of what? And who is talking about this kind of stuff? Nobody. Nobody. Because nobody's willing to even get close to even attempting to even look at that type of pill. And I'm not talking about no black pill, white pill, blue pill, red pill. I'm not talking about any of that kind of shit. I'm talking about the pill of reality. I'm talking about reality itself. I'm talking about the universe itself. I'm talking about how it really is. How many of us will even attempt to grab that part of life? That will even attempt to tell ourselves these things? Will even attempt it itself? How many of us will even attempt these things? And that's why I say this is the 0%er club. And it's not even a club. I shouldn't even say club. It's for the 0%ers. Because there's hardly anybody that will ever allow such a message to be put out for the masses to hear. Do you think that they would dare to let this out? Do you think that they would dare put my message on television or the radio or on YouTube or anywhere? No, it would never happen. It would never, ever, ever happen. Because most people, they haven't even come close to admitting this to themselves. They haven't even, because they have been conditioned to think that this is bad, or this is negative, or this is morbid, or this is dark, or this is just not suitable for life, or why are you telling people this? Listen, I want y'all to remember this. You and I and the whole world have been conditioned with what they taught us was the right thing, or the wrong thing, or the thing you're supposed to do, the things you're supposed to say. You and I have been conditioned. We came up from the world. We weren't born. We were not born. There's no such thing as being born, people. We came up from the world. There is no I. We're all elements. We're all blood. We're all oxygen. We're all carbon. We're all water. We're all skin. bone, gristle. We're all the same shit here. There's really nothing different. You can't, through the centuries, it's just been the same thing throughout the centuries. So what I'm saying is, if there is anything that somebody, and I'm not even telling anybody to do anything. I'm not forcing anything. I'm not telling anybody to do nothing of what I do. But, and you know what? Nah, I'm not even going to say what I was going to say, because that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. I was going to say, at least think of doing something that nobody has done, but you can't think of anything that nobody has done. All that we're doing in our lives when we call people a genius, all that we're doing is we are taking known elements that somebody has already done, and we're taking those experiences, those testings, those trials that they went through, and we're just putting our own twist. We're putting our own little thing on it, and we're making it look like it's so different. Nobody has ever invented anything. It was just little things that happened that were learned from somebody else, and they took that information and they put it all together and made it something. They didn't invent anything. There is no inventors. See, this is how unknowledgeable a lot of us are. There's some people, there are degrees to knowledge. And I'm not boasting, I'm not bragging about this, but it's just the way it is. There's some people that have a lot more knowledge than other people, and it doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you better because you have more knowledge than somebody. It's irrelevant. The better part is irrelevant. None of that shit matters. See, this is why I tell y'all about labels. Labels are irrelevant. When you label something, all that you're doing is you're putting a name or a label to something. It's all irrelevant. It's just something you've been conditioned with, and you put the label to whatever you've been conditioned with. Whatever you've been conditioned to think, you say, oh, well, I was taught that, so that's what it is. You know, oh, well, somebody told me that this is like this, so this is like this. Oh, somebody said to me that I trusted that it was that way. And then they say that. They'll just tell you all of their conditioned thoughts. And this is what all of us do. But see, me, not saying I'm better, not saying I'm more than, or I'm more knowledgeable or any of that, because that's irrelevant. What I'm saying is, I am breaking down the very fabric of us thinking that we know, of us bragging that we have this, of us saying that we are so different than the next person, of us acting like the inevitable is not going to happen to us. See, I am telling you about something that nobody else is going to tell you, because they have been conditioned to not say those things. They have been brought up with a certain kind of tradition, or whatever, all the other words that come along with it. Tradition, religions, belief systems, whatever else. I can't think of the words that I'm going for, but y'all know what I mean. And all that comes out of people is those types of things. And I already know what people are going to say. It's nothing new to me. It's like, I'm not trying to sound cocky here, but it's like I know people better than they know themselves. Because I know that most people have never looked into this. They're never going to admit any of this stuff to themselves. They're never going to, they're one-sided. They're for one side. They're either Republican or Democrat. They're either American or Japanese. They're either traditional or atheist, or believer or atheist. They're either tough and big, or they're lowly and humble. It's always, everybody's always picking and choosing a side. All the time. All of us are just picking and choosing. We're just saying that one thing is better or worse than something else. There is no good and bad. There's only pain or no pain. There's either suffering or no suffering. There's either you're going up or you're coming down with gravity. There is no good or bad in this life. It doesn't even exist. The words are just made up to label something, to say, oh, well, you're having sex with that girl down the street. That's bad. You know you're not supposed to be having sex with that woman. You know, the Lord, God says you're not supposed to do that before marriage. Whoever said this? Whoever made this up or said that it's a bad thing? How can something natural be bad? And then people say, well, it's good to go out and feed the homeless. No, that is a need. People need food. It's not a good thing. See, this is going to go past so many people's heads. It's not a good thing, even though that's how we label it. It's something that people need, and that's it. There is no going further than people need to eat food in order to get the energy, to burn the energy so that they can have energy. It's not a good thing. It's just a need. See, once you get this deep, it's very hard to find other people that talk like this. It's almost impossible to come across other people that actually have accepted their fate, have actually accepted the fact that this world is a mixed pot of us just making noise and moving around. It's just, the universe is cold, it's calculating, it's brutal. But see, I don't even have to say brutal because it is the way that it is. I can't even use words. It's something that we don't think that it is. We say that, oh, look how beautiful it is. It's all so beautiful. It's all just right. I mean, my goodness, the Creator knew what he was doing when he did this. Everything is just how it's supposed to be. Well, what the fuck do you mean by that? So do you mean to tell me that animals were made to viciously, without any remorse, any conscience, hunt another thing, bite them, rip their entrails out, suffocate them, eat them alive, rip them in pieces? Like, you ever see a zebra getting eaten by a crocodile? It's absolutely fucking horrible. Horrible. And if you think that it's not, then you're delusional. See, this is why I'm so angry. Now I understand why I get angry at most people, because they are not in reality. They have this thing going, this love delusion, this everything's just going to be fine delusion. And I understand that we need some of these things as people, because it's almost like you need something to hang on to. I understand that all. I already get that. I've already gotten that years and years ago. Excuse me. When I walk around here, my throat gets stuff in it. I've already seen this for myself. I don't have to, whatever anybody is going to say to reverse or make me change my mind, or somehow use a tactic on me to say, oh, well, yeah, this thing is like this, but this thing's like that. I already know what you're going to say. I already know what people are going to say before they say it. I already know this whole thing. See, this is, but people will call me cocky. People will call me arrogant. People, oh, you just think that you know everything. You can't accept that this thing might be this way and that way. I'm already 10 steps ahead of that. I've already examined that. I've already been through that. I've already looked into that. I've already studied that. I already asked myself those questions. And the thing that is lacking here is people that are thinking beyond the normal same things that go on every day that people are not willing to accept. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's running from something. Everybody is trying to convince themselves that somehow something is going to come and save them. Something is going to happen in their lives where everything's just going to go away, and it's going to be beautiful, and everything's just going to be just right. And we're going to go sailing off in a boat to the tropics, and we're going to drink tequila with, whatever drinks you want to say in your head. And it's, I'm sorry, but it is just not reality. It's delusional thinking. And it's all over the place. This is what the TV, this is what people, this is what anybody that claims to have some type of power or some kind of they can do something that nobody else can do. You should already know that they're full of shit. They're lying to you. They're just attempting to get you to hang on to something that is not real. It's not there. You're hanging on to an imaginary stick, an imaginary pole. You're actually about to drown, but they just put out this imaginary pole. Oh, I'm here to help. I have the answer for you. I can just tell you all these words and everything will be better. I have a solution for you. And that's all they're doing. They're just delaying the inevitable. They're telling you shit. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. And I'm not going to bullshit people. I'm not going to lie to people. I am not going to throw somebody a fake life raft. Like a piece of plastic life raft. Oh, I'm saving people. I'm helping people. Hey, donate to my life rafts. They're the best life rafts that you can get. And here they're made of bullshit plastic that doesn't even stay in the water, and it sinks without you even holding on to it. And this is what so many people are doing. They're throwing you fake plastic life rafts. They're telling you a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of nonsense, and then they say, oh, well, no, you can't talk to people like that. You can't approach people like that. They won't listen to you. You have to talk soft to them. You have to come in with a soft landing and a soft approach. You have to, George Carlin said something about this, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said that you can't do that. Good manners won't permit it. You can't tell people that. Something of that manner. Like, you have to, there was another thing that someone said about, he went to this Ku Klux Klan rally, and he had to talk to the main person first, and he had to convince him that he was wrong before he talked to all his underlings. Because if he says that this guy is not right, then they're all gonna believe him because he's the man on top. He's the big guy. So you have to first convince the big guy, or the guy that everybody follows today, because they're all ignorant too and they don't know any better. And then when they say something, see, I am not good at doing that. I am not good at being so polite and I want to get right to the point. I want to get right to the root of the problem. I want to get right to digging the hole to bury the nonsense, basically. And it's like, I don't have time to bullshit. I don't have time to fiddle the patty in my hand. I don't have time to play hot potato back and forth with people. I just don't have time for it, and I don't have the patience, and I don't have the, and you know what? That's something that maybe I need to look at a little closer for myself, because I admit it. At least I admit it to you. At least I'm telling you that I have a low tolerance for stupid bullshit. It's just like George Carlin said, I have a low tolerance for stupid bullshit. And I got that from him. I'm not going to act like I said that. He said that. But, you know, it's the things I'm telling you are my experiences, are things that I looked into, are things that I studied, are things that I forced myself to get into, are things that I didn't want to do, but I did. Things that I didn't want to get into or know about, but I forced myself to do it. See, a lot of these philosophers, they're even playing patty cakes with you. They're even playing hot potato and ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies with you. They're even bullshitting you. They're even telling you little bits and things that they weren't willing to get brutally honest with. And they kind of lied to themselves. They kind of told themselves delusions, you know, to get around what is really going on. And I'm sorry to say, there are very, very few, quote, philosophers that I even get down with, or I don't want to use that word. That seems like an immature word, but that I understand that they have real knowledge of reality. Very, very few. And there's very few people that I even listen to anymore, because I can't hack this fakeness. I can't hack this hiding behind the issue. I can't hack this, most of these things in life that are the way they are, and it's just the way they are, and we have to suck it up and live with it. I can't hack it. I really can't. But you know what? I'm going to call it out for what it is. I'm going to expose my own bullshit. I'm going to expose the things that I know that I have to expose for myself. And see, this is what each individual has to do. Nobody will ever do this for you but yourself. Nobody can ever call you out on your bullshit but yourself. Nobody can ever call you out on your nonsense and on things that you know you're lying about but yourself. The only one that can call themselves out is themselves. And it's just, I'm almost blocking people out nowadays. I'm almost ignoring people. I'm almost putting others on mute, because I realize they are not going to say anything that I have not heard before, that I have not seen before, that I have not witnessed or experienced or went through. I'm not being cocky. I'm not being an asshole. I'm just telling you how it really is. And you have to understand, I've been there and done it. I've seen it. I've heard it. I've felt it 1,000,001 times before. And when you start seeing and hearing and thinking and having the same exact things happen over and over, and life takes on this repeat, you get tired of it. And you're like, I heard this so many times. I've seen it so many times. I've seen how people act and how they get in the things they do so many times. I'm fed up with it. I'm over it. I'm past it. It's old news. And then people see, look, listen, if you're somebody that has a lot of knowledge and understanding, you should not take anything personal. You should not get offended. You should not take anything to metaphorical heart, because you already know everything. You've already been there 1,000,000 times with it. And when you say it's old, people get offended. When you say, look, That's old news. I've already seen that. You're not telling me anything I don't know. People get offended by their own ignorance that they don't know. And then it's you got to tell them that. How can you tell people that? You can't. You can't. That's why nobody should get offended. Nobody should take any of this shit to heart or take it personal, because I already know. But other people will say, oh, what are you telling me? I don't know. What are you saying, that I don't know my shit? Oh, what? What are you calling me, a liar? You saying I'm ignorant. So what? So what? You're telling me that you know everything that I'm going to say. So what? You're telling me that you know what I'm going to say before I say it. So what? You're telling me that, oh, you have all the answers and all this stuff. No, I'm not saying that I have the answers, because there is no ultimate answer to anything. There is just this reality and things that people just don't want to admit to themselves. And I can't make anybody do that. And I'm at the end of the road. I fell off the cliff. I splattered on the ground. I hit ground zero. And a hole is dissolving into the ground, under the ground of ground zero, if you understand what I mean. And that's where I'm at. I don't have any more questions. I don't have any answers for anybody. I can't tell you anything other than what this reality is and what really happens and goes on here. And how many people are on that? How many people can just accept what it is? And this is what I said about watching someone like U.G. Krishnamurti. I'm telling you, watching someone like him, he will absolutely destroy your thinking process, because he will break down every single barrier of what you think is something, or what you think you have to do, or what you think you have to accomplish, or what you think you have to be. He'll tell you that all of that is just you projecting. It's just, it's a construct in your mind that is there. There's nothing there but this. This is it, y'all. This is it. Don't let anybody lie to you or tell you nonsense or tell you that there's more of something. There is not more of anything. This is it. Be glad with what you got. Use what you got. Whatever tools you already have in life, use those tools. There are no bigger, better tools. This is what mankind is attempting to do. We're striving for this accomplishment. There's nothing more to accomplish here. But yet most people, they'll never talk about this. They will never even get close to admitting this to themselves. So how are they going to talk about it if they don't even admit it to themselves? They can't possibly understand. They can't possibly take it upon themselves of what they are doing themselves if they have never reflected this back onto themselves. They can't possibly do anything like that in any manner. And I'm not attempting to get people to try to do things, to force themselves to be a certain way. That's not what I'm doing. I am just calling out things how they really are in this universe. And I'm not even a messenger. I am not even a vessel. I am simply matter that has experienced and has the knowledge and understanding of reality itself, and things that people are in denial of and they're scared to tell themselves. I have come to this thing where I have been so crushed. I have been so broken down. I have been in such a place where my conditionings, see, these are all conditionings. This is what y'all keep falling for. Like someone that goes, oh, they call me ugly, so I'm just an ugly guy. and the world doesn't accept me. That is something that you have been conditioned with. Who told you that you were ugly? Who told you that you were all the things that you projected back onto yourself, and you're projecting that onto and into the world? Who told you these things? Other conditioned beings told you this stuff. Don't we understand this? Other conditioned beings, such as myself and other people, have told you these things, and you have believed it. You took it personal. You took it to heart. You got offended by it. You took it in like that was really real. Someone said you're ugly. What the fuck does that mean? Because your jawline isn't a certain way? Because you have a pudgy nose? Some people like pudgy noses. Some people like jaw lines that are not real cut and strong or whatever. Once you understand this, I'm telling you, your whole, like I said, U.G. Krishnamurti called it the great calamity. I call it the great realization. I call it the ultimate realization. When you realize these things, you can never go back to them because you understand them now. If you're asking questions, if you're still asking questions, then that means that you do not know something. And if you keep asking and asking and asking, then that means that you're not accepting reality and things for how they really are. And you're just in denial, and you keep asking these questions. You keep trying to figure out things. There's nothing to figure out here other than reality. There's nothing to get here other than reality. There's nothing else to prove here other than reality. There's nothing to accomplish here other than reality. If someone says you're ugly, if someone says, oh, well, you act a certain way, you don't fit in, all they're doing is they're projecting their conditionings onto you, and you believed them. You believed it. You took it to heart, and you took it in, and you said, oh, they told me, so now I believe that I'm that. And I hear so many channels on YouTube of people that call themselves doomers and black pillars and MGTOW and just on and on and on and on. And don't you understand the very things that you have been conditioned with, you fell for. You fell for them as if it was really real, as if that is how it really is in reality. What is to say that you don't look beautiful to somebody else, but you're calling yourself ugly? Did you ever see some guy that you think is ugly and you say, how in the hell is he with that beautiful girl? There is no beautiful and ugly. What don't we get about this? The labels, the labels, the labels. Am I getting you to understand this? Are you getting me? Yes, I am the contrarian. I am the ultimate contrarian. I understand hypocrisy and contradiction better than anyone on this planet. And I know that I do, because nobody else is talking about it. Don't you understand, you that are calling yourselves ugly, it is a label that you are putting to yourself. When you say that, oh, I'm nothing, I'm a piece of shit, I have nothing to, like, I'm nothing. That's just because someone told you that from what they were conditioned with. They said, oh, well, I'm something, and I have friends, and I have a family, and I have my shit all together, and you're nothing. And you listen to that person. I don't care if it's a boy or a girl, that's irrelevant. You listened to them. You took it to heart, and you took it like it was a real thing. And don't you understand? It's conditioning. It's not reality. It's a figment of your imagination. Say there's 10 girls that you think is beautiful, and you're a man. And the one girl that you want to be with, you think that she thinks that you are the ugliest thing in the world because you think that she thinks you're ugly. How do you know that she is not looking at you and saying, my goodness, this man is the most handsome? And I'm just using this as an example. How do you know that she's not saying, my goodness, he's attractive and I would like to have a time with him? But you think that you're ugly because somebody told you that. Do you understand how mixed up and confused this world has us? Don't you understand that the television and the TV and these shows and everything is a pile of steaming delusional bullshit? Don't you get that? See, if you're not willing to leave that and you're not willing to see it how it is, then you're going to keep going back to your delusion. You're going to keep going back to the very thing that has you thinking that you're all these things that you've been conditioned with. You're going to go right back to the very thing where you're asking all these questions and you already know the answers to. I can't really say it any more clear than that. I know this may be tough or hard for some people to register. But listen, it doesn't mean it does not mean that you have to register it all or you have to force yourself to realize all this stuff right now. That's not what I'm doing. I am not forcing anything upon people. I am not telling anyone they have to be any kind of way. I am not putting anyone down and I am not lifting anybody up. I'm not doing either or. You see, there is no labels with me. No labels, no identity, no name, no anything, nothing. I'm not putting you down and I'm not lifting you up. There's nothing there. There's no agenda, there's no label, no identity, no nothing. To me, that is the is. That is the this that we're not quite grasping. And when I say no labels, everybody thinks that everything that they do has got to have some identity to it. They think that there has to be some kind of name or association or movement or agenda or something to it. Everybody thinks that there has to be something to the thing that they're talking about. There is no identity in anything other than what that thing is. You cannot make yourself an identity. You can't call anybody anything because people are so many things. They do so many things. They act so many different ways. So how can you call yourself tough boy Tommy when you're soft with your kids? And you're a big cuddly teddy bear. Oh, but I'm tough boy Tommy. Don't you see? And it's nothing that I'm attempting to prove or trying to prove to people. It's just the fact that, can we see this? Can we actually apprehend or comprehend? Can we put this into focus? Can we take the lens that we are seeing through and can we take that lens off and put on another lens? Is what I'm saying. Because most people, they don't care about putting on the other lens. They're just like, oh, I'm in my comfortable world and it's not happening to me. And no, this is how I want to see it through my thoughts. So I'm going to keep that lens on. I'm not ever going to put the other lens on. I'm never going to see it through another person's eyes. I'm never going to admit that this is what it is. I'm never going to put myself in the animals that are getting slaughtered shoes. I'm never ever going to look at the bugs that fly around and realize if it rains that all of them will die from drowning. You know, I'm not going to look at anything else. And I'm just using these as examples because it's stuff that really happens that none of us are aware of because we don't care, because it's not happening to us. But no, I'm just going to block out that reality is, it's cruel, nature's cruel. I'm just going to block out that all this darkness and all this morbid stuff. Oh no, that just happens to other people. It doesn't happen to me. It's never going to happen. And I even know myself that this kind of sucks. It sucks for conditioned people. It sucks to hear this if you're conditioned. And I know for me, it has really sucked telling myself this. It has been like decimation. Like something I can't even explain to people, but I told myself I won't lie to myself no more. I am not being in denial. I am not tricking myself. I am getting rid of this conditioning. I am going back to the very beginning, and I'm not starting it again. I'm going back to the beginning of the beginning. And I'm not starting this whole thing again. I'm just not doing it. I know this is probably really hard to comprehend what I mean, but it's like when you come of the world, when you come out of your mother's womb and you're a baby. No one has told you or taught you anything. They have not forced anything down your gullet. They have not conditioned you with one single word. And you just let it be. Let the child be. If just using a child as an example, let it be itself. Let it discover for itself. Let it find out for itself. Let it burn its hand on the stove so it knows not to touch the stove. You know, let it fall and scrape its knee so that it knows, okay, I gotta watch what I'm doing here. Don't tell them all this shit and condition them with religion and these belief systems and telling them all this shit that everybody says. Like it's Yuji Krishnamurti says, I didn't give you that shit. They gave you all that shit. Don't you understand that they gave us all of this shit? And I'm sorry to say, it's the people that are closest to us. It's the people that we care about. It's the people that we are attached to, but we don't want to offend them. We don't want to down them. We don't want to hurt them, right? So we kind of keep it to ourselves, and then we lie to ourselves, and we beat around the bush, and we play, hot pockets and hot potatoes, and ring around the rosy, pocket full of posy, ashes to ashes. We'll never fall down. But you know that you're going to fall down. Come on, who are we fooling here? I mean, who are we lying to here but ourselves? Ain't you tired of the lies? Ain't you tired of this thing? How many people are just tired of this thing? But nobody is willing to do anything other than what we're used to or what we've been conditioned by. And that's all we think, day in and day out. It makes no sense. I mean, I ask myself, am I the only one? Am I the only one that has stumbled onto or has come to the threshold of or has admitted to myself or has realized the ultimate realization, the great calamity that Yuji Krishnamurti talks about? Have any of us came to that kind of knowledge, those kinds of thoughts, like that type of being? Because I don't hear it anywhere. I don't hear it in no music. Most of these lyrics today and songs are completely irrelevant. They're completely absurd. It's just all irrelevant stuff. Nobody is saying anything. Nobody is doing anything. Nobody is saying anything that is even worth hearing anymore. It's just all the same stuff that has been said. It's like regurgitation. It's like the bird that a spitting swallow that tweet tweet tweet. Then they're eating the food. Then when they get older, they're puking into their babies' mouths, and their babies are they're just eating the same type of regurgitation. It's just the same thing. And I ask, like, is this it? Is this what it has come to? But then, see, when I say that, people go, oh, well, it's just the end, and there's nothing to live for. There's nothing to do. Life is over. Let me just kill myself. Let me put a bullet in my head. Let me commit suicide. That is not why I am doing. That is not why I speak these words or make this noise. I am not promoting anything other than words and noise, other than reality. That's all I'm promoting to people. I'm not a label. I'm not an identity. I'm not a name. I'm not an agenda. I am none of those things. I am simply words, noise, and reality. And can anybody swallow that pill? Anybody. September 2nd, 2022, 222, over and out. Nathan Coleman, thank you. Well, actually, thank the universe. Thank the food you eat. Thank the bed you lay in. Thank the car you drive in. Thank the water you drink. Thank the toothpaste that keeps your teeth clean. Thank those things. Don't thank me. Later. The crickets. The crickets. The crickets. Lovely, but you know something harsh is coming its way.